unfortunately, there is going to be there needs to be an inquiry straight after this. Why? What? But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you. I'm quite sure when this goes out, it'll be all over the place anyway.
The reality is can the state call for an immediate rematch? I don't believe they can, the commission. It's really up to the governing body. I mean, you know, the commission can overturn a decision or rule on a decision, but can they order a rematch? That really...
The dust has barely settled on one of boxing's most polarizing nights, yet the echoes of controversy continue to shake the sport. Terence "Bud" Crawford walked away with his hand raised against Saul Canelo Alvarez, but the victory hasn't brought him the clear coronation many expected. Instead, whispers of scandal...
But what I'm saying is what they found in his system, now this is one thing they've got to find out, this one thing we've got to prove. He's saying, this is all I've done, that's what I've done. You know, and if that's adverse, if that's a performance enhancing...
Razor-thin scorecards and heated commentary from respected figures have turned what should have been a crowning moment into a storm of suspicion. At the heart of it all is Johnny Nelson, whose bold words after the fight sent shockwaves through the boxing world. He pointed to what was allegedly found in Crawford's system, a claim that, if true, could tarnish the entire event. Nelson's statement didn't just stir debate, it questioned the very credibility of Crawford.
Yesterday he said, I don't want to have egg on my face, I've got to get a job done here. So after the things he said the last time, he knows he probably mugged himself off. I think that probably hurt him more than anything, hurt his pride.
Crawford's win. Did Crawford really earn that victory clean? Nelson asked rhetorically, echoing a question on the lips of many fans. The implication was clear: if there's substance to the allegations, sympathy doesn't just shift slightly toward Canelo, it crashes firmly into his corner. Nelson didn't stop at the potential scandal. He went further, dissecting Crawford's post-fight behavior. According to him, Crawford's pride took the heavier blow, despite the official result. It's telling, Nelson remarked, that even in victory, Crawford's words betray insecurity. It's a stinging observation. Nelson contrasted Crawford's defensiveness with Canelo's history of carrying losses with dignity. Alvarez has faced setbacks before, from Mayweather to Bivol, but never lost the air of...
Oh, I disagree. I mean, we're never going to agree on it. We're never going to agree on it.
Well,
but
you guys probably would. You guys probably wouldn't agree on it.
When you don't receive a ban, when you are cleared and not... The reality is, he has not been found guilty.
Greatness. For Nelson, Crawford's aura of invincibility now looks shaky. Promoter Eddie Hearn added another layer of complexity. Sitting ringside, he called the fight razor close, challenging the narrative of Crawford's so-called domination. Canelo pushed him hard, Hearn explained. It wasn't...
When you lose in a fight, never mind a world title fight, when you lose in a fight, full stop, you know, the best thing to do is to dry your tears and crack on. You know, you got to man up. Sometimes somebody just got your...
The one-sided masterclass some are painting it to be. His honesty resonated with fans who felt Alvarez's pressure and clean punching were undervalued. Yet Hearn also reminded everyone of fairness. Crawford hasn't been found guilty of anything. Still, the shadow of suspicion is hard to shake, and the longer it lingers, the more the spotlight swings back toward Canelo, the man still chasing legacy. Former champion Duke McKenzie was blunt in his response. A true champion accepts defeat and moves forward, he said. But even McKenzie admitted this was no ordinary loss. He defended the judges, reminding critics that questionable scorecards are as old as the sport itself. Still, fans across the globe felt...
We're talking about the ringside judges. They don't make things up. You know, they allegedly got the best of the best to referee and to judge that fight. So 3 judges, one can't get it wrong, one could possibly get it wrong, but the other 2 didn't. And
Canelo's best work went unrewarded. His relentless pressure, his clean body shots, and his command of the later rounds seemed discounted. McKenzie's words added legitimacy, but they couldn't erase doubts. If Crawford's win was helped by both suspect judging and the cloud of Nelson's allegations, then Canelo never stood a fair chance. Crawford laughs it off. When Crawford finally addressed the speculation, he did so with a laugh. But laughter isn't enough to silence the whispers. Fans questioned whether his words came from confidence or from a defensive instinct to reinforce legitimacy. Nelson's earlier comments gave his defiance a desperate edge, fueling suspicion that Crawford might be rattled by...
All praise to the Lord above me. I got to give him all the praise.
because without him, I wouldn't be here. And I told y'all, I'm not here just by a coincidence. God bless me, and he made this event. He made this night just for me. And
By criticism, true greats don't laugh off doubt. They silence it in the ring. And with this result far from universally accepted, Crawford's defiance may have only sharpened the calls for a rematch. Trainer Apatea praised Crawford's adaptability, pointing to his smooth stance switches and defensive work. But critics argue such praise overlooks Canelo's relentless pressure. Yes, Crawford adjusted, but did he dominate? Many fans say no. Canelo walked him down, forced exchanges, and made him uncomfortable throughout. Greatness isn't about edging rounds, it's about commanding them.
On points, bro, crazy.
How did you have it?
I had him up, bro, convincingly. Awesome fight. Awesome. Hey, science of the sport. This guy adapts. I knew it.
How did you know he was going to win? Why?
He's got too much ammunition. You know, southpaw, orthodox, on the back foot. That's what changes good from great, is knowing how to adapt. You know, back foot.
And by that standard, Alvarez still looked every bit the warrior. Former champion Shawn Porter highlighted intangibles: heart, chin, mentality. Crawford showed flashes, Porter admitted. But let's be real, he hasn't been tested like Canelo, and that's the crux. Canelo has walked through fire against a murderer's row of champions. His durability and warrior mentality are unmatched. Crawford may have edged the night, but has he endured what Canelo has? Not yet. Hearn doubled back later, calling it the perfect fight for Crawford. But perfection, fans argue,
it's more than skills paying the bills with this one, man. I think that there's some intangibles with this fight that are internal, you know, the stuff you don't see. And like, for an example, we can talk about Canelo's chin. Is it that he just really has this chin that's really sturdy? Or is it that he has a chin that's sturdy, but he also has a mentality that I won't go down? You know what I mean? Like, that's when I mean like internal intangibles. And I think that both these guys possess a tremendous amount of skill, talent, abilities that, you know, to the naked eye, you aren't really.
Is subjective. Yes, Crawford moved well, blocked plenty, and kept his engine running. But did that eclipse Canelo's pressure, power, and damage? For many, the answer is no. Canelo dictated the pace, forced Crawford to work every second, and carried the heavier shots. If boxing is about control, damage, and dictating pace, Canelo checked those boxes. Calling Crawford's performance perfect feels like brushing aside the controversy. Teofimo Lopez kept things simple, calling it a great fight and suggesting Crawford got it right. But fans weren't satisfied. For them, this isn't just about entertainment, it's about fairness and legacy. Lopez's neutral stance, combined with his dismissal of a rematch, felt tone deaf. A rematch isn't just about revenge, it's about restoring trust. If Lopez truly respects the sport, critics argue he should acknowledge.
And tonight he got it perfectly right, boxed the absolute perfect fight, and fully deserved the victory. You know, I know some people felt it was a close fight, but I just felt that he was the better fighter on the night. Beautiful defence. You know, arm will be sore tomorrow, but took so much on the gloves, boxed beautifully offensively, used his footwork great. His engine was incredible, hardly looked like he broke a sweat.
That unanswered questions demand resolution. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman congratulated Crawford, calling it a clean-cut performance, but even he admitted Canelo came on strong late. That single point speaks volumes. Alvarez wasn't done. He was building momentum. Fans believe if the fight had gone longer, the tide might have turned. Suleiman's words about rest and celebration sounded diplomatic, but the reality is clear. Demand for a rematch is already boiling over. Trainer Bill Haney went further than most, placing Crawford among the all-time greats and suggesting his fight with Canelo looked easier than Spence. But this comparison rang hollow. Alvarez is no Errol Spence. He's a 4-weight world champion, one of the most durable fighters of his era. To suggest
we saw a great fight tonight, did we not? That's all that matters. Two guys risked it, and the better man won tonight. That was Crawford.
Terence got it right. Is there no need for a rematch, or do you want to see running back? Because it was pretty good, like you said.
No, it was pretty, yeah, it was really good, actually. Yeah. So
It's up to the jam. He's a jam.
Crawford handled him easily is rewriting history. The fight was gritty, close, and filled with controversy. To elevate Crawford to Mount Rushmore off one disputed victory feels premature. True legends like Canelo built resumes through decades of battles, rivalries, and redemption arcs, not through a single night clouded by speculation. Even Hollywood weighed in. Actor Charlie Sheen tweeted his amazement, calling the fight unbelievable. But that's the casual fan perspective, seeing the surface without digging into the layers. Hardcore fans know this wasn't flawless. Canelo pushed, hurt, and outworked Crawford in moments that left plenty of room for debate. For casuals, Crawford's hand being raised was enough. For the boxing community, the controversy lingers. So where does this leave us? Johnny Nelson's explosive claim.
He deserves all the time to really enjoy what he has just accomplished.
His performance was pretty clean cut. Is there a need for a rematch though? Canelo came on a little bit late, but
that's different. They took a long time to prepare for this great fight. Let them enjoy, let them have a rest.
About substances. Eddie Hearn's insistence that it was razor close. Duke McKenzie's tough love but quiet acknowledgement of lingering doubts. Porter praising Canelo's intangibles. Lopez dismissing the need for a rematch. Solomon hinting at unfinished business. Haney crowning Crawford prematurely. Sheen cheering like a casual fan. The tapestry of reactions paints one undeniable picture. This fight left more questions than answers. Was it really Crawford's brilliance, or was it controversy overshadowing the result? Canelo's resilience remains undeniable. He pressed forward, absorbed everything, and finished strong. That's why calls for a rematch won't fade, because in boxing, legacies aren't written by one night. They're forged through rivalries and redemption. If Canelo runs it back and wins, he restores order. If Crawford repeats, he silences all doubt. Either way, the stakes are enormous. For now, Crawford enjoys the moment, but history won't remember tweets or sound bites.
Exactly. And you guys knew what was going to happen. You were in denial. That shit looked easier than Earl Spence. Did it look, huh?
It's a brilliant performance. Brilliant performance.
Man. Shout out to Team Crawford, Bo Mack, and that whole team, man. You know what I mean?
Where'd you rank him all-time list after that?
I mean, put his face on Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying? He deserves his place, for sure.
It remembers clarity, and this fight didn't deliver it. As the noise grows louder, as fans demand justice or confirmation, one truth becomes clearer. Only a rematch can settle the debate. Canelo's legacy was built on chasing redemption. Crawford's legacy now depends on proving his greatness beyond whispers. So the question remains, was this truly Crawford's clean coronation, or does Canelo Alvarez deserve justice in a rematch? The boxing world waits for the answer.